dacht sich, dass gewesen der letzte Farbrengen, Pesach, die Farbrengen, heißt die zweite Nacht von Pesach. Tovshin Lamed. Der Rebbe gerät als sicher, mit Yusuf auf den Medrash, was der Medrash erzählt, an der Nacht von Pesach, seien die Jiden gesessen, Meshe, wie Yisrael, Mesubin, Bipischehem. But there was a big problem. And what's the problem? It doesn't say wieviel, aber Kenira ist gewesen, Gor Asach Iden, was haben jener Nacht nicht Punkt gesessen bei der Seder. Und bechlall anderen Jönim. Sagt der Medrash, der Eibester hat gemacht ein Ness. Und hat eine Reis geführt, Ruches von Ganeden. Und die Ruches von Ganeden haben sich verspreit über ganz Mitzrayim und mitgenommen mit sie der Reach von Moshe Rabbeinus Korban Pesach. Die Jiden haben der schmeckt der Reach von Moshe Rabbeinus Korban Pesach, aber sie geworden als Schuke, als sie müssen haben Acheleke von Moshe Rabbeinus Korban Pesach. Seien sie alle gekommen zu leben zu Moshe Rabbeinu, beten bei ihm, ten Lonu, gib uns von Korban Pesach. Sagt sie Moshe Rabbeinu, ich kenne nicht. Der Eibesher hat gesagt, Kol ben nechar leyechal bei. Was ist das Problem? Sie sind nicht gekommen allein. Sie sind gekommen mit, they weren't married, Punkt, face doch zu Gesha. Bechlal nicht zu Gesha. Und bei Meile haben sie alle verschickt die Schicksals. Boom, weg. Geht uns. Sagt sie, Moshe Rabbeinu, ich kenne nicht. Für was? Warum steht doch, wie chol Eved ish? Und wie Malta ist sie? Hast der Knecht, nicht kein Gemalete, musst du malen. So the Medrash says, haben sie gleich alle gemalt, alle ihre Knecht. You hear what we're talking about here? Was für Jiden? Gekommen sind sie gekommen nicht mit Jüdische. Knecht haben sie gehabt. Haben sie gemalt, der Knecht. Jetzt der Moshe gib uns. Sagt sie, Moshe, ich kenne nicht. Steht Kol Ore Leyechal bei. Ihr seid doch allein nicht gemalte. Miyad Cholaf Ish es Charbei. Hat jeder, I don't know what that means, und sich gemalt. Und dann hat Moshe Rabbeinu sie gegeben von seinem Korban Pesach. Das mehr weniger der Medrash. Akapanim, the beginning of it. Frage der Rebbe zwei Kashes. Lechere Gor Poshete. Der erste Scheile auf dem Medrash ist, was heißt, Moshe Rabbeinu hat sie gegeben von seinem Korban Pesach. Es ist doch ein Halacha Mefureshes, und man sagt es jeder Tag in Ezel Mekayman, weiß doch jeder eine, der dir noch Eder Pesach, eine ja Nechel, Ellen Menuyov. Muss doch sein Ammoni auf dem Korban Pesach. Wie kannst du essen von dem? Wie kann das Moshe Rabbeinu sich geben? And then the Rebbe asked, Stama Klotz Kashe, how is it possible von ein Korban Pesach so Moshe Rabbeinu geben als sehr viele Jiden? Das ist doch ein Scheich. Und man kann nicht sagen, sagt der Rebbe, man kann nicht sagen, als gegeben nur ein Maschu, wo man darf doch haben, a Kezayis. Und man kann nicht sagen, das ist nur noch Matenteira, wo Shiurim Halach al Moshe Sinai, wo der Din von Kezayis lernt von Korban Pesach. A Korban Pesach muss sein a Kezayis. How is it possible? So many Yidden so haben von a Korban Pesach. Sagt der Rebbe, der Medrash ist Mamshich. Wie haben sie sich gemalt? How were they able to mal? I mean, even though it says Chalafish as Charbei, but sagt der Medrash, ein Day, as Moshe hat gemalt, Aaron hat Perea gewesen und Yeshua hat gegeben von Koss. A zweite Day steht, als Yeshua hat gemalet, Aaron hat Perea gewesen und Moshe Rabbeinu hat geteilt Keshe Bracha. Also steht im Medisch. Sagt der Rebbe, auf dem doch gedrungen, als seien dort nicht gewesen Moshe allein. Mit Moshe gewesen Aaron und mit Aaron gewesen Echet Yeshua. Moshe und Aaron in Yeshua gewesen, doch klar, als Shevet Levi dort gewesen. Now, what do you do with them, was steht? Al jetze ish mit Pesach Beise, ich weiß es schon beschatten dem. The Chera aber sagt der Rebbe. Should I speak in English? Moshe Rabbeinu, when Moshe Rabbeinu made the Korban Pesach, Moshe Rabbeinu, when he made his Korban Pesach, what Moshe Rabbeinu had in mind alle Eden. Das heißt, who were Menuyim? Who were the ones that were counted as Moshe Rabbeinu's Korban Pesach? Not Moshe and his family, und a paar Mekurovim Mashbakim was einem gedreht herum. But who did Moshe Rabbeinu have in mind when he made his Korban Pesach? He had a mind, a Eid, a rich Jew, not married to another Jew, full mit Avodim, that had no interest, nicht in Pesach and nicht in Korban Pesach. And that's who Moshe Rabbeinu shechted his Korban Pesach for. Ubemele, every one of those Eden were part of Moshe Rabbeinu's menuyim on his Korban Pesach, so Ubemele was able to give it. There wasn't enough in Moshe Rabbeinu's Korban Pesach. Zog der Rebbe, as Aaron and Yeshua and Shevet Levi were there, Ubemele, they gave from theirs. That's mer weniger de Sicha. Now, was sagt der Rebbe? What is the Rebbe telling us here? The Rebbe is telling us here two things. One thing he's telling us about what the Rebbe is, and the second thing he's telling us who we are. He's telling us who the Rebbe is, that the Rebbe has in mind every single one of us. Not pshat those of us that carry the title. How did they call me up here before? Von the ältere Shluchim, von the ältere Chassidim, von the Narishkeit. The Rebbe has in mind every single one of us. Not in general, in particular. To be a money on a Korban Pesach, you have to have this person particularly in mind. You can't have it say, I'm going to give it to everybody in the house. I have no idea who's in the house. Das hilft nicht. You have to know who it is. The Rebbe has in mind every single one of us constantly and completely. And who are we? Zog the Rebbe Azeh. Who are Anshe? What are those that are with Moshe? They are not with Moshe. They are Moshe. The Medrash says that Moshe gave them from his Korban Pesach, when practically, who did he give it to? Who gave it to him? A bocher who happened to be a great-great-grandson of Levi, but I had a little bit of seichel, and he understand Pesach by Nacht, you have to be by the Rebbe. And so he took his Korban Pesach and he came to the Rebbe to be by the Rebbe. What is his Korban Pesach? His Korban Pesach is the Rebbe's Korban Pesach. It's the Rebbe's Korban Pesach. And when that Jew that knows from nothing got from that shliach a piece of matzah, when a Jew in Zambia and a Jew in China and a Jew in Queens gets from a bocher, gets from a younger man, gets from a chassid, gets from somebody who knows that the Rebbe wants us to give out matzah Erev Pesach, whose matzah is he getting? He's getting the Rebbe's matzah. He's getting the Rebbe's matzah. It's the Rebbe's matzah that he's getting. And that every one of us that are giving that matzah, it's not us giving, it's the Rebbe giving. That, gentlemen, is the concept in theory. V'kan haben she'el. And here now is the question that everybody, I'm not going to say everybody, but I heard it 10,000 times, so I'll repeat it. Well, it's very easy for you to say it because you saw the Rebbe and you heard the Rebbe and you actually got matzah from the Rebbe's hand and you got brachas that you heard the Rebbe say and you got to stand by davening and you got to stand by a Farbrengen. And you, Rabbi Deren, could go around the world telling about Melfsim that the Rebbe showed you. And not that you have to make it mitadrei, but you saw it with your own eyes. But what do you want from me that my father was born after Gimel Tammuz? And I never saw. And I never heard. That's the shaila I hear. Now, I don't want to insult anybody, but it's not the brightest question in the world. In fact, anybody that looks around in this room can say Eidus Gomor, and I'll ask Rabbi Gerari to be maskim. Unless he's not maskim, he can say no. But I look around and I see the Bachrim sitting here tonight, or any other night or day, and I say Adover Barur, that the Bachrim in Tov Shin, Pei Dalid, look a lot nicer than the Bachrim in Tov Shin Chav Dalid, or Lamed Dalid, or Mem Dalid. That's a fact. Even though they didn't see and they didn't hear. How do I know that that's a truth? And that's what Rabbi Gerari was telling Amaisa. I, like most of you, learned the Maimer B'yem Ashteyosar, like you learn Vata Tetzava before Gimel Tammuz, and like you learn Basi Legani before Yud Shvat. And I will share a personal, I don't know, personal argeshim or not, lav dafka as Zayin Bim Keimam. But when you learn the Maimer B'yem Ashteyosar, and you come near the end of the Maimer, and the Rebbe Detzelt, like Rabbi Gerai spoke at length, about Hareya She'einei Niskar, and it's like a kick in the stomach. It's Pashit. What's the Rebbe saying? And who is the Rebbe talking to? What Pshat Hareya Einei Niskar? There's nothing else other than the Reya. What Pshat Hareya Einei Niskar? What does it mean? Yeah, it's taka true. That's the whole Maimer and Tov Shin Lamed Beis. But he's talking to us. He's talking to me. And what does it mean? Hareya Einei Niskar. Zicher Niskar. I'll tell a story, a personal story that happened with me. Only because I made up my mind I'll say it, so I'll say it. And it happened with me in Tov Shin Chavav. It happened on Purim Tov Shin Chavav. On Purim Tov Shin Chavav, everybody knows that towards the end of the Farbrengen, when the Rebbe was calling up people to give l'chaim, and then at one point, the Rebbe said, Kol ha-peshet yad neisnim lei. I was standing, Purim Tov Chavav, I was barely 15 years old. My place by the Farbrengen was near the Aron Kodesh, which it's like the first shul. The Aron Kodesh was like almost like 3/4 of the way towards the back on the side. On a table standing. When the Rebbe said, Kol ha-peshet yad neisnim lei, in 2 seconds, like everybody near jumped up towards the Rebbe's place, and mamish 3 seconds later, it looked like a big mountain around the Rebbe with a hole in the middle where the Rebbe was. And like you couldn't see the Rebbe already. Everybody jumped. Now, so what happened inside Veisach Nishpunkt? But it took, the Rebbe was giving mashke until the shtupnish became too much. I think even the Rebbe's chair was broken. The Rebbe stopped. Abisli moved away a little bit. The Rebbe said a bracha achreina. When the Rebbe got up, somebody gave the Rebbe another bottle of mashke, and the Rebbe started giving again l'chaim. And the Rebbe was giving l'chaim walking out till the end of the platform, and then when the Rebbe down the steps, and then the whole way till going to the door, and the Rebbe was giving l'chaim. Then the Rebbe went up the regular stairs. In the hall, people were waiting, and the Rebbe was giving l'chaim weiter till the Rebbe's room. The Rebbe stood by the door of Gadnei Elyon, and people were pushing in to get l'chaim. The Rebbe went into his room. After a while, he came out. When he came to the door of 770, weiter, there was unbelievably everybody that didn't get downstairs or inside was outside waiting to get. The Rebbe walked down the stairs. It was not, you couldn't see. There was somebody there. I'm not going to say, Al Kapanim, he was standing in front of the Rebbe, as a getrasket, the Rebbe gate. Like, Mamish Pashtet had to push his way to make a place for the Rebbe to go through the pathway. Actually, at one point, even the Bahala, the Rebbe like touched him on his shoulder, and he said, Leima on his spilus. And he turned around and he said, Ich bin nicht beleime, ich bin, I'm going to say his name, and weiter, the Rebbe gate, until the Rebbe came to the car. The Rebbe came to the car. But on the back seat of the car, somebody was laying. From one end to the other. Somebody would go with the Rebbe in the car. He was laying on the back seat in an underwelt. And the Rebbe stood by the door of his car and giving l'chaim until somebody was standing on the other side of the car on the service road. Anachshem ben Aminadav, actually I can say his name was Zissel Pekarsky, and he jumped up onto the car and put his hand out to get l'chaim from the Rebbe. The Rebbe gave a look at him and he gave a little smile and he gave him. So everybody else from the other side started going. The car ended up with all four flat tires with like this. I was standing at the end of the car, like by the tail light. Between me and where the Rebbe was standing, there were 3 or 4 people. But I managed to squeeze like from the side and able to get my hand through, and I leaned over, and the Rebbe saw, and he looked at me, and he poured l'chaim into my kelish, and I said to the Rebbe, l'chaim, and the Rebbe looked like looking at me. So I thought maybe the Rebbe didn't hear. So I said a second time, l'chaim. And the Rebbe just looked, and then he looked away. I was only 15 years, barely 15 years old. But it was like, never happened such a thing. I couldn't imagine what happened. I didn't know. Maybe the Rebbe didn't hear me. Maybe this, and I was thinking maybe I should go because I heard the people were going to the Rebbe's house outside the. But, and I was like, I don't know how long it took me to process what happened. Ein Sache sicher, that in my whole life, it was never ever that I should say l'chaim to the Rebbe that it should so affect me, so until I realized, I thought it was a patchim ponim. Until I finally realized, punkt verkehrt. It was like the Rebbe saying to me, I expect more from you. I expect better from you. Yeah, it was not. I remember the first Farbrengen I was afterwards. This was a Purim. I don't know what it looked like. And the next time I remember it was after Pesach. I said l'chaim to the Rebbe by Farbrengen, and look, the Rebbe, like, it was clear that the Rebbe was answering me. It was like, but sometimes it comes from Giluyim. Sometimes it comes. I mean, that's the whole. That's the whole B'yem Hashtayasar. Was sucht man? Are you looking for Giluyim? Are you looking for Hashpa'as? Are you looking for Hein Teafes? Are you looking for even like to be like the Alter Rebbe? Or you just want to do what I want you to do? Nicht mehr und nicht weniger. How? I don't know if that's pshat in Maimer. But Hareya Eine Niskar means l'cha'era, literally as it says. The Reya is not Niskar. You don't see him. The Gashmias don't feel him. It's like 30 years, Rahman al-Itzlan, where Areya ain't a Niskar. But the Reya, is he here? Vunar. In every trit and trot, he is with us. When we don't see him, even when it hurts, it's all him lifting us up higher, closer, better. And l'cheira, that's Yud Aleph Nissan. Yud Aleph Nissan, even the Rahmana Litzlan, it's already too long. We have to remember that he's with us. We have to remember, Yeder Einer von uns, he's thinking about each one of us specifically, individually, mit Ava, like the Baal Shem Tov said, noch merer, via ben yochid shenelad, be'ez deknosei. More than that. And we have to remember that we are his, and the matzah that we have to give out now, Erev Pesach, is because we're giving out the Rebbe's matzahs, and the Eibusha should help us, noch far Erev Pesach. We should be able to stand in front of the Rebbe, Dol Mata, in Aguf Gashmi, and we'll get from him Side Matzah and Side Korban Pesach, V'nechal Sham, min Azvachim und min Apsachim mit den Rebben zusammen. L'chaim.